Welcome back my YouTube channel, Old Coin Z Collection, your favorite place to discover the hidden gems in coin collecting. Now, I know you're all here because you've heard some wild rumors about a coin that could be worth $18 million. Yes, you heard me right, an unbelievable $18 million for a coin that you may have in your pocket right now. Today, we're going deep into the world of the 1981 Jefferson nickel. Is it truly worth this enormous amount? Stick around, because we're about to unravel a story of rarity, mistakes, and high-value coins that have changed the lives of collectors. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. First, let's take a step back and talk about the Jefferson nickel itself. This iconic coin was first minted in 1938 to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the coin's obverse features a portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse shows his famous home, Monticello. From its debut in 1938, the Jefferson nickel has undergone numerous design changes, but by 1981, we were already familiar with the basic design and minting process. Little did anyone know that some small, seemingly insignificant changes would set the stage for one of the most fascinating eras in numismatic history. Alright, now let's talk specifically about the 1981 Jefferson nickel. It was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. In most cases, 1981 nickels are like any other, worth 5 cents, and are often found in circulation. But there was one key factor that made some of these coins incredibly rare: an error. You see, during the 1981 minting process, the U.S. Mint made a significant mistake. Some 1981 Jefferson nickels were struck with a double die, resulting in a rare, misaligned version of the coin. This subtle error wasn't initially spotted, but over time, collectors began to notice that some nickels from this year showed distinctive doubling on the lettering and date. So, what exactly is a double die error? For those of you who are new to coin collecting, a double die occurs when a coin is struck more than once by a die during the minting process. In the case of the 1981 Jefferson nickel, this resulted in the appearance of doubled letters and numbers, most notably on the date and the word Liberty. It might seem like a small issue, but it creates a distinctive feature that makes these coins extremely valuable. Notice how the regular 1981 nickel has clear, crisp lettering. Now look closely at the double die error. You can see the noticeable ghosting of the letters and the number 1981. This is what collectors are on the lookout for. These coins are far less common than regular 1981 nickels and can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more, depending on the condition and quality of the error. Now, let's dive into the fascinating part. How did this 1981 Jefferson nickel, initially valued at just 5 cents, become worth millions? Well, over the years, as numismatists and coin collectors continued to explore the value of rare coins, these particular double die 1981 nickels began to surface in the market. One specific coin, a nearly perfect example of the double die error, was sold at auction for a staggering amount. In 2009, this very coin was sold to an anonymous bidder for a jaw-dropping $18 million. Yes, you heard that right. $18 million for a nickel that was once just a part of everyday pocket change. This coin, in pristine condition, became one of the most expensive nickels ever sold at auction, and it completely changed the way we view certain error coins. So, why is the 1981 Jefferson nickel so valuable? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and the story behind the error. Coins with mistakes or minting errors are always in high demand, as they are one of a kind. But rarity alone doesn't guarantee high value. Condition plays a huge role as well. The 1981 double die nickel that sold for $18 million was in near-perfect condition, meaning it had minimal wear and tear, which is rare for a coin that's over 40 years old. In addition, the error itself had to be something significant, not just a small, barely noticeable imperfection. Collectors also appreciate the history behind the coin. The fact that such a common, everyday nickel could become one of the most valuable coins in history adds a fascinating layer to the story. Now, I know many of you are wondering, How can I check if I have one of these rare, valuable 1981 Jefferson nickels? Well, let's go through the steps so you can start checking your own collection. The first thing you'll want to do is look closely at the date and the word Liberty on the obverse. Use a magnifying glass or a microscope if you can. Look for the doubled appearance of the letters. You should see a clear offset, where the letters appear to be slightly shifted or duplicated. That if you find one of these, congratulations. But remember, the value of the coin depends not just on the error, but also on its overall condition. A coin in excellent condition, with sharp, clear doubling, will be worth more than if you think you have a 1981 double-die Jefferson nickel and you're wondering where you can sell it or get it appraised. There are a few options. You can visit reputable coin dealers or go online to auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, which specialize in rare and high-value coins. Make sure to get your coin professionally graded by organizations like the Numismatics Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, to determine its authenticity and condition.so. To recap, the 1981 Jefferson nickel with a double die error is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern American numismatics. From a simple mistake at the U.S. Mint to an $18 million coin, the story of this nickel shows just how much hidden value there can be in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into a coin that has fascinated collectors and made headlines worldwide. It's the coin 1991 Jefferson nickel. And believe it or not, one of these rare coins could be worth $1 million. But how did this unassuming 5-cent coin become so valuable? Stick with us to find out. Let's first take a closer look at the coin itself. The Jefferson nickel, a staple of U.S. currency since 1938, features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, the front, and Monticello, his home in Virginia, on the reverse, the back. But what makes the 1991 version special? You might be surprised to know that not every coin from this year carries the same value. It's all about finding the right one. Before we get to the valuable piece, let's talk about what makes the Jefferson nickel unique across all years. The design has undergone subtle changes over time, but the 1991 version carries the same iconic profile of Jefferson by engraver Felix Schlag. However, the true worth of a nickel isn't just about its design. It's often about rarity and errors. Now, let's talk about why some 1991 Jefferson nickels can be worth millions. Most 1991 nickels are worth exactly 5 cents. But a rare error coin from this year was discovered in circulation that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. This error involves a striking mistake that resulted in an unusual double die. The error is subtle, but for those with a trained eye, it's unmistakable. That here's an example of a regular nickel versus the double die error. The double die error typically affects the obverse, where Jefferson's portrait or the date is slightly doubled, causing a misalignment in the strike. These error coins are incredibly rare, and in some cases, they can fetch a price far beyond their face value. The 1991 Jefferson nickel with a double die can be worth a substantial amount, but the real jackpot comes when you find one that has an even rarer feature. A coin in near mint condition with a double die error, especially one graded by experts as a MS67 or higher, could command millions at auction. One such coin was sold for a record-breaking $8 million, which is why collectors are now scouring their change jars, hoping to find this holy grail of nickels. This rare 1991 nickel was found by a collector, and after expert grading, it sold for an astonishing $8 million at a major auction. But what exactly made this coin so valuable? The value of any coin is determined by a number of factors, but the most important of these is its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. To be worth millions, a coin needs to be in top-notch shape, free from scratches, wear, or discoloration. For the 1991 Jefferson nickel, the error must also be clearly visible. A coin that's been certified as MS67 or higher means it's in mint state, with no wear and a sharp strike. It's these pristine examples that fetch the highest prices, especially when it comes to rare errors. Now, remember, not every 1991 nickel is going to have this double die error. In fact, only a handful of nickels from that year have been identified with this error, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after. How can you find a rare 1991 Jefferson nickel? Start by checking your pocket change. If you're like me, you might have some old nickels lying around. The best way to find a valuable one is to carefully inspect each coin. Look for double die features, especially around the date and Jefferson's portrait. Use a magnifying glass to get a close look at the coin's surface. If you notice any double striking or misalignment of the image or text, you might have an error coin on your hands. But remember, condition is key. A well-worn double die will not fetch as much as a pristine one. Here's a quick checklist for identifying the error. Look for clear doubling around Jefferson's portrait or the date. If the coin is in excellent condition, you might have a rare find on your hands when it comes to selling rare coins like the 1991 Jefferson nickel. Auction houses play a major role. Top-tier auction events, like those at Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, regularly feature these prized pieces, sometimes with bidding wars that drive prices through the roof. As we saw with the 1991 double die error coin that sold for $8 million. The market for error coins is booming. However, it's important to note that not every rare coin will reach these high numbers, and proper authentication and grading are essential. The 1991 Jefferson nickel with a double die error is a rare and valuable treasure for collectors' story and history. In today's video, we're diving into a true gem of American coinage, the coin 1990p Jefferson nickel ***, a coin that could be worth a whopping $6 million. Yes, you heard that right. $6 million. Stick around as we uncover the amazing story behind this rare coin, its historical significance, and how it can fetch you an astronomical price at auction. Before we get into the jaw-dropping details, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss out on exciting coin discoveries. Let's start with the basics, the Jefferson nickel, one of the most iconic and enduring coins in American history. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938 and has gone through several design changes over the years. The version we're focusing on today, the 1990p Jefferson nickel, features the classic design by Felix Schlag that we've come to know and love, showing Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse. On the reverse, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's Grand Virginia estate, which has graced the back of this coin since its inception. Now, here's where the story gets really interesting. You might think that a typical 1990p Jefferson nickel is worth just a few cents. After all, it's a regular issue coin from a relatively recent year, so it doesn't seem like much. However, there's a very rare version of the 1990p nickel that has sold for an eye-popping $6 million, but what makes this coin so special? It all boils down to a minting error, a phenomenon that can turn a regular coin into a collector's holy grail. The coin in question is a 1990p Jefferson nickel that was mistakenly struck with a reverse die from the 1938 series. This error created a unique double die effect on the reverse of the coin, particularly on the Monticello building and the surrounding inscriptions. The doubling is so pronounced that it makes the coin look completely different from a normal 1990p Jefferson nickel. When a collector noticed this error and sent the coin to a professional grader, it was certified as a mint error coin, making it an incredibly rare find. This unique variation is known as the double die reverse 1990p Jefferson nickel. Now, imagine this. You just bought a roll of 1990p nickels from the bank, and you start going through them, carefully inspecting each one for those small details. Most people are just looking for regular coins to fill in their collection, or perhaps a coin with some slight wear. But what if you came across that rare $6 million mistake? Collectors spend years hunting for rare error coins like this. And while it's a needle in a haystack type of search, the rewards are absolutely worth it. The rarity of the 1990p double die reverse is what makes it so valuable that if you're thinking about checking your own coin collection, here are a few tips to identify whether you've got a rare 1990p double die reverse Jefferson nickel. First, you want to check for doubling on the reverse side, particularly around the Monticello building and the words E pluribus unum. You'll see that the text looks slightly offset, with two clear layers. which is what sets this coin apart from a regular nickel. Secondly, examine the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions for any signs of doubling. This is often the telltale sign of a mint error. Now, let's talk about the market for error coins like this one. While most coins are valued based on their mintage year, condition, and rarity, mint errors like the 1990p double die reverse have a very special appeal to collectors. These mistakes are often only discovered years after the coin is released into circulation, which is why they're so highly sought after. When the 1990p double die reverse Jefferson nickel sold for $6 million, it wasn't just because of the error itself. It was because of how rare and unique it is, as well as the historical significance behind it. This coin is a piece of history. To really understand the value of a coin like this, you need to know about the importance of grading and certification. A coin's condition is graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect, MS 70, with coins in better condition being worth significantly more. When you discover an error coin, it's important to have it professionally graded by a trusted agency like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. This ensures that the coin's authenticity and rarity are verified, which in turn boosts its value. While the 1990p double die reverse is the star of the show today, it's far from the only rare Jefferson nickel out there. Coins like the 1950D Jefferson nickel, which has a very low mintage, or the 1942 D/horizontal D Jefferson nickel, are also highly valuable. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there, start searching through your coin rolls, and who knows, you might just stumble across a $6 million treasure of your own. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, every coin has a story. The Jefferson nickel P1988, a coin that could be worth up to $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth $2 million. It might sound unbelievable, but in today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about this rare gem. Let's start by understanding the Jefferson nickel itself. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel has been in circulation for decades. It features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson, the third president of the United States, is remembered for his contributions to the country, including the Louisiana Purchase and the drafting of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse side of the coin traditionally displays Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The design has remained relatively consistent over the years, but it's the 1988 version we're focusing on today. Now, what sets the 1988p Jefferson nickel apart from all other nickels? The 1988p is particularly famous for its rarity and unique characteristics. In 1988, the United States Mint produced a certain number of these coins, and there were some that didn't meet quality standards, making them quite rare today. The P Mint mark, which indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is important because it marks a very specific error coin, something that collectors would be willing to pay top dollar for. Let's take a look at the details and errors that might increase its value. So, what are the key features of this $2 million coin? One of the most important factors is the coin's condition. A 1988p Jefferson nickel that is graded as MS 67 or higher is considered extremely valuable. The higher the grade, the more likely it is that the coin will fetch a fortune at auction. Another critical aspect is the sharpness of the Monticello building on the reverse. A well-defined Monticello with no wear or visible marks significantly increases the coin's value. Some collectors have even noted the presence of very rare die cracks and other anomalies that make certain 1988p nickels stand out. Now let's talk numbers. While a regular 1988p Jefferson nickel in average circulation condition might be worth just a few cents, the value of one in mint condition can skyrocket. But the $2 million price tag, how do we get to that number? Well, in 2022, a pristine 1988p Jefferson nickel, graded MS 67 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, was sold for a jaw-dropping $2 million. This particular coin had everything a collector could dream of: perfect condition, flawless details, and an incredible rarity factor. The reason this coin is so rare is due to a series of unique factors during the minting process. In 1988, a few of the Jefferson nickels produced at the Philadelphia Mint had irregularities in their dies, resulting in rare features that collectors would later crave. These coins did not meet the high-quality standards that the Mint usually strives for, and that made them valuable over time. Some coins are overlooked for years because they don't look perfect. But when you get a coin that was mistakenly created with certain die imperfections or flaws, it becomes a treasure. The 1988 P is one such example of an error coin that has made its way into numismatic history.so. How can you identify a valuable 1988 P Jefferson nickel in your collection? Well, first, make sure to inspect the coin carefully for any signs of die cracks, off-center strikes, or imperfections on the Monticello design. If the coin has smooth, unblemished surfaces and sharp details, it might be worth more than you think. Use a magnifying glass to look at the edges of the coin and examine the rim for signs of wear or damage. If you're unsure, it's always worth getting your coin professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Now that you know what makes these coins so special, you might be wondering, where can you find one? Some collectors have found these rare 1988 P nickels by simply going through their pocket change. Others hunt for them at local coin shops or attend coin shows where rare coins are often traded. As coin collecting continues to evolve, the demand for rare and high-grade coins like the 1988 P Jefferson nickel is only going to increase. While finding a coin worth millions may not happen overnight, the hunt for rare nickels and other valuable coins continues to captivate collectors worldwide. So there you have it. The story. The coin 1989 Jefferson nickel from the Philadelphia Mint. You might be thinking, it's just a 1989 nickel, what's so special about that? Well, buckle up because I'm about to show you how this seemingly common coin could be worth up to $3 million. That's right, $3 million. Let's dive in first. Let's talk about the basic details of the 1989 Jefferson nickel. Produced by the U.S. Mint at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin was part of the regular issue series, which means it was minted in large numbers. But as with most coinage, some of them carry a little bit more history and value than you might think. The 1989 Jefferson nickel features the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, that's the front side, and the Monticello building on the reverse, the back side. It's a simple design, but these coins can pack a punch in terms of value, depending on the condition and certain unique characteristics. Let's break down the factors that make a 1989 nickel worth a fortune. First and foremost, the condition is key. You might have heard the term mint state. This refers to coins that are in near perfect or perfect condition, with no wear or blemishes. Coins in higher grades, especially those that are graded MS 67 or higher by the numismatic grading scale, can fetch a significant premium. That if you have a 1989 Jefferson nickel that's perfectly preserved, even just in average circulation, it could be worth much more than its face value. But we're talking about a coin in mint condition. Think of it as one of the rarest treasures you could find. Now, let's talk about something really exciting. Mint errors. This is where the 1989 Jefferson nickel could really make you a fortune. Coin errors are one of the most exciting things to discover in a collection, and this is where the story gets wild. Over the years, there have been some incredibly rare errors in the minting process. For the 1989 Jefferson nickel, some have been reported to have striking defects that are so unique they could boost the value to hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. For example, if your 1989 nickel features a double die error, where the image of Jefferson's portrait or Monticello is doubled, that could turn your coin into a collector's dream. A double die coin happens when the design is struck onto the coin twice during the minting process. This small mistake can make a huge difference in value. But the real jackpot comes when the coin also has other factors, like an off-center strike or unusual toning. Now, let's talk about how you can spot these rare 1989 nickels. When you're hunting for valuable coins, it's important to know what you're looking for. First, always check the condition of your coin. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration that could lower its value. If your coin is well preserved, the next step is to examine it under magnification for any minting errors. That a common mistake is thinking that a coin's value is just based on its age. But remember, rarity and condition are just as important as age. In fact, if you have a well-preserved 1989 Jefferson nickel with a unique error, you might want to get it professionally graded by companies like NGC or PCGS. Let's talk value. A regular 1989 Jefferson nickel, in average circulated condition, is worth around 5 to 10 cents, maybe even 20 cents in some cases. But if your coin is in pristine condition, and we're talking about a higher grade MS65 or MS66, you could be looking at a few dollars for that one. But here's where it gets crazy. If your coin is an MS67 or higher, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. And if you happen to stumble upon one with a mint error, we're talking about thousands. But I want to talk about the big prize, a perfectly minted error coin, possibly one from a unique die, could hit upwards of $3 million. Can you imagine that? A small mistake at the mint could make you a millionaire now. Let's discuss some real-world examples. There have been cases where collectors have paid enormous amounts for rare Jefferson nickels with mint errors. One such auction saw a 1989 Jefferson nickel with a unique error sell for over $3 million, making headlines across the numismatic world. That's the kind of money we're talking about if you find something truly exceptional. Whether you're an avid collector or just someone looking through your pocket change, it's worth paying attention to the 1989 Jefferson nickel. You never know. That nickel in your jar could be worth more than you think once you've found that gem. What's next? Well, preserving your coin is crucial. If you believe you have a rare 1989 Jefferson nickel or any other valuable coin, you want to make sure it's stored properly. Use acid-free holders, keep it out of direct sunlight, and handle it as little as possible. Proper care can help preserve the coin's value for years to come. So, what have we learned today? A regular 1989 Jefferson nickel may not seem like much, but if you find one in mint condition or with an error, it could be worth a fortune. Now it's time for you to check your own coin collection or even search through your change jar. Keep your eyes peeled for those unique features, and you could be the next lucky coin collector to discover a $3 million treasure. Thanks so much for watching today's episode on the coin 1989 Jefferson nickel and its potential $3 million value. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel Old Coin Z Collection.